Hi, Victoria. Ending, and it's 6 o'clock too. Can you hear me?
Yes, I just started recording.
Thank you. Okay. Time being 6 o'clock and the quorum being present, I will call the meeting of the Freetown Conservation Commission to order. Before we get started, I'll read the governor's order. Pursuant to Governor Baker's February 15th, 2022 order, extending the March 12th, 2020 order, suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people who may gather in one place. This meeting of the Freetown Conservation Commission will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public can be found on the Town of Freetown's website, freetownma.gov. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the town's website or YouTube channel an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you all for being here. First item on our agenda, we have a request for determination of applicability. This is for 16 Pickens Ave. The applicant owner is Keith Mello, and the scope of work is removal of 3 damaged, compromised trees. For those that would like to follow along, you can go to freetownma.gov, to our website, go to the Conservation Commission under boards and committees, and you will see Conservation Commission current filings on the left-hand side. Click on that and you should see some of the things that we are talking about tonight. So do we have Mr. Mello here tonight or somebody from Apex Tree?
Hi, Kevin, I'm here.
All right, excellent. So just if you would declare that you are recusing yourself.
Yep, I am recusing
participation with the
myself.
board.
Yep, for anything.
From
Do you need
participation with the board.
Yep.
Yep.
Do you need a little of what happened here, or am I just totally out of this?
Yes, please. Yes,
Okay.
please.
So
So you can make the presentation unless your wife's here.
no, she's not. The kids had soccer, so so what happened was a couple weeks ago on the Monday, we had a windstorm come through. I lost 2 trees went through my deck, kind of nicked my house. To make a long story short, there's still a quarter of one tree left standing, a half of another tree left standing, and the third tree, which Apex Tree wrote in their letters, is severely compromised now. I don't have much of a choice other than taking the 3 of them down. I know I'm in the wetlands. And I think the letter that he wrote explains exactly why they need to come down for obvious reasons. 2 of them, will be dead within however long, and the third one, because the other 2 trees had always been there with it, is going to be an issue. So that's the story, and I just need to get them taken down.
Well, I guess first question is everybody all right? Nobody got hurt and the house isn't damaged too badly?
Nope. Thank God everybody's fine. The deck took the pretty much all of the damage. The house got hit a little bit, but not bad. So
Right, well,
we were lucky. In the end,
yes,
we
you
were
were
lucky.
lucky, and good. So for those that are following along, we do have a letter from Apex Tree that does describe exactly what Mr. Mello had just explained. I suffer the same sort of scare or concerns at the place, my father and mother's place in New Hampshire, surrounded by tall white pines that in every storm, I wonder if one's going to come down. So you mentioned, and I think you misspoke, these aren't in the wetlands. They're in upland, but right next to the wetlands, in the buffer zone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. How are these going to be removed? Are these going to be moved by hand? Are we getting in there with a machine, or are we just going to cut them down to stumps and leave the stumps?
Nope, he's climbing the trees. Well, one of them doesn't even need to be climbed. The 2 other ones, he is climbing. There's going to be no crane or anything down by the water. It's by hand.
And we're going to leave the stumps there to help stabilize the slope.
The stumps have to stay. Yep.
Good.
Correct.
Good. All right, well, I'm sorry to hear this happen, but I'm glad everybody was good and your house didn't get damaged too much. Does anybody from the board have any questions?
I'm good, Kevin.
I'm good
Excellent.
too. I read the letter.
Thanks. Hi, Margaret.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, hey, Charlie.
Hello.
So, entertain a motion that we issue a negative determination that while the work is within a buffer zone to a resource area, it will not dredge, alter, or fill said resource area, and the filing of a notice of intent is not required.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I second.
Motion's made and supported. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Roll call vote. Charlie Sullivan.
Aye.
Charlie Sullivan, aye. Margaret French.
Aye.
Margaret French, aye. Kevin Damaris, aye. Is Chris Mather here?
No,
No.
he's not.
Okay, so motion passes 3 with 1 recusal. Keith, are you working or are you gonna be able to stay for the meeting?
I'm here as long as no 911 calls happen in Freetown. I will be here for the entirety.
Fingers and toes crossed. All right, let the minutes reflect, please, that Mr. Mello is back before the representing the board at this time.
Yeah, and thank you very much for that.
You're welcome, sir. So next on our agenda, we have a request for determination of applicability. This is for 133 Quantapug Road. The applicant owner is Ryan and Dana McCann. The representative is Brad Fitzgerald, sorry, FSG Associates, Inc. And the scope of work is a septic system repair with associated grading. And again, you can follow along with these on the website. We have Brad here tonight.
I'm here. Brad Fitzgerald, SFG Engineering, 28 Main Street in Lakeville, with the project engineers. This is for a septic system repair. The plan is to install a new septic system with associated grading and disturbance. At its closest point, the leaching area would be about 83 feet from the edge of the BBW. With an overdig, we're about 5 feet closer than that. And other than that, there's really no other work closer. We do propose erosion control along the edge of the driveway and on the low side beyond the system to protect the BBW. At the completion of the work, it'll be loamed and seeded, and the erosion control will stay until the grass has taken and there's no danger of erosion into the wetland.
Excellent, thank you. So this is a Title V required upgrade.
That's correct.
It failed. I see it says replace the existing septic tank with a new 1,500-gallon septic tank. What are we doing with the old one? We
Well, actually,
removing it
that-
completely?
It will be removed if it, I kind of missed this. Apparently they do want to try to keep that tank if it's still sound. If it's sound, they will keep the existing tank. If not, it will have to be removed completely because the new tank is going in the same place.
Going in that same location, right?
Yeah, right in the same hole.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? And again, the reason why that we have to push this there is because we need to get it back from the well up front, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Does anybody from the board have any questions or comments?
I'm all set.
Okay. Then again, I'll entertain a motion that we issue a negative determination number 3 with the condition that should the septic tank itself fail to meet the standards and have to be decommissioned, that it be removed entirely. So I'll entertain that motion again. It's a negative determination number 3. With the
I'll make that
condition.
motion.
Thank you.
I'll second the motion.
Motion's made and supported. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Roll call vote. Charlie Sullivan.
Aye.
Charlie Sullivan, aye. Margaret French.
Aye.
Margaret French, aye. Keith Mello.
Aye.
Keith Mello, aye. Kevin Damaris, aye. Motion passes unanimous. All right, so
Thank you
just,
very much.
you're welcome. Just give us a few days to get that paperwork done, and we'll get you going. I understand that there's an urgency to this, so we'll get you going as quickly as we can, Brad.
I appreciate that. Take care. Have a good night.
Sure thing. You're welcome. Have a good night. Next on our agenda, we have item number 3. This is a request for determination of applicability. This is for 50 Mason Road, and the applicant owner is Cliff Furtado, and the scope of work is to add, fill, and plant grass on existing lawn area. Again, you can follow along on the website if you'd like. Do we have Mr. Furtado here?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. How are you, sir?
Good, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I think pictures say 1,000 words, quite honestly, so thank you for sending those.
Yep, no problem. I know Victoria, when we spoke, you said you wouldn't mind sharing your screen with those pictures if that's possible.
Yep. Give me 1 second.
So basically what I'm looking to do, or hoping to do, is just add some fill and plant some grass in my backyard. Currently, my backyard comes and then it dips down and then it flattens out. And
Mhm.
she's pulling up right now. So, yep. So that's pretty much, that's the dip area of my backyard. Where those, perfect. So it's tough to see in the actual picture. It doesn't look like much of a dip, but it is actually a significant drop off, right where that arrow is. So my goal would just be to add some fill and kind of have it gradually slope down out to where those trees start.
Sure.
I hired Brooke to come take a look. And where those trees start, if you walk, it was 100 feet back is where she determined it to be wetlands.
Okay.
Victoria, do you have the other photos of the actual not the ones I sent you, the ones that you had of my plan, my lot?
Yes, I can pull that up.
Is that a sketch?
No, that's just the GIS from our
Okay.
maps online.
All right. I think what you're saying is, and we've had a conversation about this, Mr. Furtado, and I probably should have made sure that there was a sketch involved. When I heard that there was photos, I thought we were all set. I think the position of Brooke, and I did speak to Brooke about this too. Brooke is the wetland delineator that Environmental Partners Group typically uses or has used in the past to do our delineation reviews.
Mhm.
So I reached out to her, and that was her position, was that short of going through and having to spend the money and time to delineate it, it's in her opinion that it's further than 100 feet away, so you would be outside. I think the happy medium was that you would agree to at least file the RDA with us, provided that, we didn't change the scope of work from what we talked about.
Mhm.
So I think that's where we're at. I think what would really help, and I'm not trying to delay it, but I think subject to a sketch showing, in fact, that you are outside of that 100-foot, or where we can do a takeoff on that,
Okay.
just to show, because knowing now what the extent of what you want, after having looked at the aerial photos myself and the delineation, or the wetland layers, I think you are in fact outside, or really close to being outside that 100-foot. So we can just demonstrate that with a sketch.
Okay.
Shouldn't be a problem. So approximately, what's the area that you're going to be
So right where
filling?
it's pretty much, you can see like where where the arrow is. If you drop down right to where it says like the 299, it would just be that open area that's already there. It's cleared out. I'm not touching any trees. I'm not disturbing any wildlife, anything. It's already cleared out. So
Sure.
it was that picture that she originally showed, and then pretty much that right there. So where my patio is, it's about 3 feet past my patio, and then it drops down. So it would be that area that you see right now before the purple.
Yep. Makes sense.
Excuse
So,
me, Victoria,
Yep.
can you move the, so I can see more of the picture of the backyard? Is that possible? Can the
Like you want
purple
me
area- the
you want
purple
me to go
area-
back? You want me to take off the layer?
Yeah, maybe that will do it.
Okay.
If
Okay.
you can you zoom out a little bit too, so you can get a little bit. I just want to, okay, perfect, right there. So do you see the house to the right of me where the number 6 is? That right there, that little, it almost looks like, I don't know, that, like yes, exactly. That is where Brooke determined the wetland would be. So going back towards my house, you see that little clear area where the 2.99 acres would be? That's exactly where it would be right there. So from the tree line down is where was the 100 feet. So I would be outside that 100 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me, Kevin, can I ask one question? All right.
please,
So,
yes.
Mr. Furtado, what you want to do is to make a minor, well, to have less of a grade in the cleared area behind your house, correct?
Correct. Instead of it just dropping off, I would like it to kind of gradually slope down.
Okay, not taking out any trees there, but just in the area that is clear, correct?
Yes, correct.
I just wanted to make sure I understood exactly what you're wanting to do.
Yep.
Thank you.
No, no problem.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Okay. That being said then, again, I'm going to make an assumption that you are slightly within the buffer zone. You may or may not be, but for the sake of this and the purposes of this, that we issue a negative determination means you don't need to do any further filing with us. No notice of intent is required. You're not going to be dredge, altering, fill an area subject to protection, but the work may be within the buffer zone to that area. So I would entertain that motion with the condition that a sketch, and we can use the assessor's plot plan if you'd like, or you may in fact have a septic plan or something else that can be provided so that in 10 years' time, if somebody wants to go and look and see what you've done, they can at least have a better idea.
Okay.
I'll entertain that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, sir.
I'll second it.
Excellent. Motion made and supported. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Roll call vote. Charlie Sullivan.
Aye.
Aye. Margaret French.
Aye.
Margaret French, aye. Keith Mello.
Aye.
Keith Mello, aye. Kevin Damaris, aye. Motion passes unanimously. All right, Mr. Fatal, we'll get that. If you want to touch base with the office and get that over to us, we'll accept it via email, snail mail, osmosis if you can pull it off. And
Sounds
once
good.
we get that, we'll send the permit out to you.
Awesome. Thank you much. I appreciate it.
Sure thing. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
All right, bye. All right, next on our agenda, we have a public hearing. This is an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation for Zero Innovation Way. This is for property located, I believe, across the street from the Amazon and the bio company. The applicant is VMD Companies LLC. The owner is Fall River Redevelopment Authority. The representative is Timothy McGuire from Goddard Consulting LLC, and the scope of work is seeking approval of a delineated BBW. Now, again, this is a public hearing, so I'll entertain a motion to waive the reading of the public hearing notice. You
I'll
want me to
make
read
that
it?
motion.
Thank you. I need a
I'll
second.
second it.
Motion's made and supported to waive the reading of the public hearing notice. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Roll call vote. Charlie Sullivan.
Aye.
Charlie Sullivan, aye. Margaret French.
Aye.
Aye. Keith Mello.
Aye.
Keith Mello, aye. Kevin Damaris, aye. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, since this is a public hearing, we may in fact have interested parties. Typically, what we do is we allow the applicant to make a presentation. After that, we will open it up to questions from the general public or any interested parties that may in fact be here. And we will also open it up to the board members. If you do have a question, just politely get our attention, either by raising your hand in the video or electronically on the screen, or just say, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, and then at that point in time, you can state your name for the record and ask your question. Now that we have the rules of engagement set, same thing goes for those that are going to be representing the applicant. If you just state your name for the record, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening. For the record, my name is Tim McGuire. I'm a wildlife biologist and wetland scientist with Goddard Consulting here on behalf of VMD Companies. I'm joined as well by Brian Dunn from our project team from MBL Land Development and Permitting, and Kyle Rayner from VMD as the applicant. Can I do a screen share to show the site plans?
Please,
Thank you.
Victoria.
Yes, it should be all set.
Great. Thank you
Great,
so
thank
much.
you.
So we're here before you with an ANRAD permit seeking to confirm the boundaries of an on-site BVW here at this parcel off Innovation Way. It's parcel 236-6.01. You were correct, Mr. Chair. This is on Innovation Way, right across the street from the Amazon facility that went in recently. So it's a portion of land. All that is out there is a 23 flags we hung series GC 1 to 23 for a portion of a BVW system that does indeed continue off site. All of the portions within the relevant vicinity to the site were delineated, the relevant vicinity being within 100 feet or more. The site doesn't fall within an area of critical environmental concern, outstanding resource waters areas. There's no mapped potential or certified vernal pools on site, but the site does indeed fall within estimated and priority habitat for rare species. And at this time, however, we are only seeking the confirmation of the extent of the wetland resource areas on site. We have recently been issued a DEP file number 0260679 with no comments from the department. So this is the wetland here. It's the BVW system. You can see the zoom out of the entirety of the parcel here. There are some wetlands to the south. This is oriented north facing to the right. Please note that these wetland boundaries were recently confirmed through the Fall River Conservation Commission through an issuance of an ORAD for them. There are none within the relevant vicinity of the site to the south across town lines. So the next plan sheet shows it in a little more detail. So this is that portion of the BVW system to the south. Again, there's 23 flags hung to demarcate it, and we're seeking to confirm those boundaries. So I'm happy to entertain any questions from the Commission and the general public at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. What's the size of that BVW, the portion of it that is actually just in Freetown?
I do not have the square footage off the top of my head. Brian, do you have that?
Mr. Chairman, Brian Dunn. I'm the principal of MBL Land Development and Permitting, with offices at 5 Bristol Drive, Southeastern Massachusetts. We're here on behalf of the applicant, VMD Companies, LLC. We prepared the site plans you have in front of you. This is roughly about 7,500 square feet of BVW that's down in that lower eastern corner of the site.
Thank you. So Tim, right? It is Tim?
Yes.
You keep mentioning flags 1 through 23. Those 1 through 13.
My apologies. I may have misspoken. 1 through
That's
20.
okay. I do it all the time.
1 through 13 are the portions of the delineation, I believe, that do occur on site, with the remainder, petering off into the state forest here.
All right. What happened to change of direction flag at what I would say would be wetland flag number 14?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? You came in a little unclear.
Yes, I'm sorry. It appears that you have most of your flags are at change of directions within the delineation. And after wetland flag 13, you've got a linear length change of direction, and then another linear length that eventually changes direction within the city of Fall River, or at least off site. I'm just wondering, do we need a flag there at that change there?
So If I understand your question correctly, are you asking, because the wetland turns off to the north here, if the same applies in this direction towards Fall River?
I guess what I'm getting at is if there's, this is upside down, so north is going down the
North
page,
is to-
correct?
Is to the north is to the right.
Off to right.
North is to, okay, yeah, I'm looking, my PDF has got it turned, so north is to the right. So as you're going, down the page, there's a change of direction, and if you have a flag in Fall River there at that 90 degree, what I'm gonna call a 90-degree bend, that the delineation would then go from wetland flag 13 straight to that one. It's probably de minimis in its impact, but I just, if you don't want to, that's fine. In my opinion.
Okay, so Mr. Chairman, you're asking us to provide those flags that are off on the state forest property.
Yeah, just there's two more changes there. Yeah, I think the flags would be helpful too, because I don't know what you plan on doing for developing it, and I think anywhere where you would have a buffer zone impact within the locus of your property, that should be demonstrated with flags and an offset. You see where you've got your delineation, the dark line terminates. You may already have this
Yeah, in that
delineated
buffer
or
zone,
not.
see there is the 100-foot buffer zone from that line that's
Yeah.
on the state forest property.
Okay,
So-
and then does it continue off there and no longer the buffer zone? There will be no other buffer zone on the subject property, is what you're saying?
That's correct.
That's correct, Mr.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, if I may, you can see the topography here, that it starts to kind of follow this valley. The wetland line does kind of proceed this way. So there's no more relevant buffer zone after that point to the delineation. So we didn't continue to delineate it off site.
Okay, that is fine.
And then
All right.
whether we show the flags or not, the buffer zone is there, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
So this is, you said approximately 7,500 square feet,
Yes.
so it's not all that big of a wetland area. That's on our site.
No, it's very, if I want to call it, use the word you used, it's very de minimis in compared to the entire parcel of land.
Right. Okay. Typically on larger projects that would have much more delineation to be done, we would send somebody out through peer review. I'll ask the board now if they would feel comfortable just going out and making a site walk inspection themselves. And then we can make a determination whether we would need to if something were to stick out that we can't make sense of. I would leave that up to the board. I'm more inclined to just go out there and do an inspection. And then what would be your availability should we want to have an inspection on site? Should we need you or somebody?
So I would be happy to meet you out there. I have availability Monday through Friday. Generally within business hours, I could make other accommodations after 5. If
Well,
necessary.
here's our issue, and hopefully this will get solved in the near future. But we don't have a clerk, never mind any full-time staff. So typically, it's the Conservation Commission members who donate their time and volunteer for this. So we usually like to do them either a Saturday or Sunday morning, because most of us still work, and it's difficult for us to get out of work to go do them. Is that going to be a problem getting somebody out there to do it on a Saturday or Sunday morning?
If it's absolutely required, we can make arrangements, but if at all possible, we'd be able to get out there maybe after 5 on a weekday. That would certainly be preferred. Sunset is
Okay.
occurring around 7:30 this time of year. We should have plenty of time to take a look out there. The hardest part is getting out there, but there are a bunch of cart paths out there that
Well, I guess that was going to be the next question. Is it something that's readily accessible? Should it be a cart path or a walking path that, should we want to go out on our own to go take a look at it? Or is it
There's certainly a lot of Greenbrier and Huckleberry Barrens out there that
Oh,
can be a little challenging to navigate. But as I said, there are a lot of different cart paths that could fairly easily facilitate access to this portion of the site. I believe, if I remember correctly, some of the trails from the state forest are fairly close to here as well. So
Right.
it's
what,
not something
what
I
we'll do then is, I'm sorry to cut you off, but what we'll do is then, we will try to schedule something for like a 4 o'clock time frame, 4:15. I work till 4 typically. During the next, week or two before our next meeting. And we will schedule that with you, and then we will let the members know, and whoever can be there will be there.
All right, thank you very much.
If I may point out, Mr.
That-
Chair, this area where
Sure.
the woods are is almost 1,200 feet off the Innovation Way, which is like a quarter of a mile.
Oh, so we'll get our exercise in that day.
There you go.
Yeah, we're not afraid of a little walking.
Okay, just wanted to make
No, I appreciate that, right? Because so we'll make arrangements with that if and then we'll go from there. And then I would suspect that if people can't make it and they still want to get out there on the weekend, then somebody from the Concom who's going already could probably go out there, show them, and they could get their eyes on it that way. So.
Certainly, and if that's the case, and if arrangements need to be made for the weekend, we could discuss that for sure.
All right, we'll get back to you.
Okay.
Is there anybody from the general public or anybody from the board have any questions or about this?
I'm all set, Kevin.
Okay. Excellent.
Now,
All
Mr.
right.
Chair, did you, I heard you say you would get back to us, but would it be convenient for you to schedule that right now while we're, all here with the members, or is that something you'd prefer to just send out in an email later?
Well, suppose we could, today's Monday.
I can do any day, Kevin, except Wednesday.
So how does Thursday sound? Charlie or Keith, would you guys be available?
I'm on duty. I'm working Thursday, Kevin.
All right.
Till-
How
I
about
work
you,
till
Charlie?
6.
Kevin, Thursday afternoon, you're saying after 4, is that correct?
Charlie?
Okay, I didn't hear a response, Kevin.
Yes, that's correct, Charlie. Thursday after
Okay.
4.
Yeah, I'll have no problem getting out there that time.
Why don't we schedule,
I just have to be
what's the
back
best,
for a 6 o'clock meeting, Kevin.
you're back for then? Goodness, if we're gone that long, they better send out a search party.
It's a quarter-mile hike.
Right, but we'll get you back. So why don't we schedule it for 4 o'clock? The best place to park, right on the side of the road over there?
Yes, that would be best. My, and if anyone gets lost, feel free to call my cell. It's on my email signature to all the correspondence I've had with Victoria. But I will put down 4 o'clock this Thursday, the 12th. I'll meet out there.
Listen, that's going to be weather dependent, right? So if it's a torrential rainstorm or what have you, I think it's supposed to be pretty nice. But again, that'll be weather dependent. And if it's going to be bad, well, we'll certainly reach out and let you know.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And anything over the weekend, I would ask for at least a week notice, please, if the weather doesn't. hold.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You got it. Yep. Okay. Any other questions or comments?
may a point of order. If there's gonna be more than 3 members there, we need to have this posted as a meeting.
I appreciate your opinion, but I will politely disagree with that. We have
Okay.
a good authority from council.
Very
We do
good.
not need to have a quorum.
We,
So
we
long
run-
as we're not making any decisions out there.
okay, perfect.
We're only there to view, sir.
Okay, perfect. I like the way you're rolling. Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. So, that being said, if there's no other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion to continue the public hearing for the Ayn Rand for Zero Innovation Way to, what's our next meeting date, Victoria? Today's the
The
9th, so it'll be
23rd.
The 20, yeah, the
23rd.
23rd. All right, so I'll entertain a motion to continue the public hearing to May 23rd, 6 o'clock via Zoom.
I'll make that.
Oh, go ahead, Charlie. I'll make that motion. Sorry.
All right,
Thank
and
you.
I'll
Motion
second.
made. Motion's been made and supported. If there's no further discussion on the motion, hearing none, roll call vote. Charlie Sullivan.
Aye.
Aye. Margaret French.
Aye.
Margaret French, aye. Keith Mello.
Aye.
Keith Mello, aye. Kevin Damaris says aye. Motion passes unanimous. All right, so we will tentatively, we are scheduled for Thursday, 4 o'clock on Innovation Way. If anybody would like to go in carpool, we can meet at Town Hall and get up there so we don't have a bunch of cars parked on the side of the road. If not, we'll see people up there 4 o'clock.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. We'll see you Thursday at 4.
Sure thing. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Bye-bye now.
All right, next on our agenda, we have a continued hearing for 3 and 0 George D. Williams lot. The applicant is Charge Down East PV1 LLC. Owner is David Magna Capital Funding Services LLC. The representative is Sarah Ebor from Vanessa Angan and Bruslin, Inc. The scope of work is proposed solar array. So this is a continuation of a public hearing that we've had. We've sent it out for peer review. Those of, again, that are following along and are going to participate in this public hearing, we'll allow the applicant to make some presentation. Then we will open it up for questions. Again, just politely get our attention, state your name for the record, and you can ask your questions that will be asked through the board but answered by the applicant. Do we have Sarah here tonight?
We don't have Sarah. It's Chris Wagner from VHB. How are you?
How are you?
I'm all right, thanks.
Excellent. So, again, for those following along, go to our website, see under Conservation Commission current filings. You'll be able to pull up the peer review letter that we're going to be referencing at this point in time. So, Chris, are you the only one here tonight?
Yeah, it's just me tonight.
Okay. Well, don't say just you. It's only you. All right. So I'm assuming that you're in receipt of the review letter from Environmental Partners.
Correct. Yep.
I'm going to also assume that you are working diligently to address all of their concerns.
That's right. And I know we have a comment. We have a response to comments letter. It's 95 to 99% finished. Just a couple of other things that need addressing. And I know that the goal is to get that to you this week. I think it should be to you by Wednesday, so that there would be enough time to review before the next planning board hearing. And then obviously the next Concom hearing subsequent to this one.
Right. So to you, you also mean to Environmental Partners Group, right? You can communicate directly with them and send it directly to them, so we're not playing third party.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when if you submit it to us, go ahead and submit it to Environmental Partners Group, so we don't have any wasting of time for you.
Sure.
Okay. I guess then, what is it that you came tonight to share with us?
Well, it really just wanted to say that the project is unchanged. What we presented to you last time is what's still before you, and just wanted to note that as far as the commission, as Concom goes, there weren't a lot of comments related to the NOI specifically. There were several stormwater comments, as I'm sure you know if you reviewed the letter, and there was one comment pertaining to the crossing, the existing crossing, and the proposed work to improve that crossing and the culvert there. Environmental Partners essentially agreed with VHB's assessment that the hydrology and hydraulics analysis of that crossing and that culvert that the upgrade proposed should be sufficient for this road. And so environmental partners agreed with that view. And the like I said, the other comments we're planning to to address, and we'll distribute those that response to comments to everybody, and with enough time for review before subsequent hearings. So it's really just, we're here to say that this is, that we're still in process. This is an update. I would imagine that the commission wants to see that response to comments before moving to issue an order of conditions. So if that's the case, then we would look for a continuance to the 23rd for this hearing. If you are by some chance ready to move forward tonight, then obviously we can, anything you have misgivings about, we could certainly condition. But otherwise, if you want to wait till the 23rd, then that would be our request.
Okay, I would just say this in general, view of the comments relative to stormwater, and that's pretty important to the notice of intent, and making sure that gets, I understand it's going to get worked out and it's going to have to, but I think that our comfort level has, at least in the past, been that until we're ready to issue a condition, most of this stuff needs to be worked out and have a narrative or empirical data to prove it out.
Okay.
So I think what you've said is accurate, that once you get that information to us, the sooner the better. We can review that, and should there only be a couple of exceptions that are routinely conditioned, once you meet that, I think we'll have a better ability to move forward on it.
Okay, great.
All right.
Yep, we'll provide those responses, and then if there's anything else that's outside the scope of that letter, then obviously we can ask those questions tonight or in between now and the next hearing, but otherwise we'll focus on that.
Right. Typically EPG does the review for us, and we oftentimes defer to them on these things. So
okay.
I think most of the stuff will be borne out and hashed out within the excuse me, the public hearing for the planning board.
Right. What is the date of that
I
hearing? I forget. Do you know off the
Victoria?
top of your head?
The
Victoria
next
should know.
conservation hearing?
No, sorry, the next
No.
planning board hearing.
Oh, it's next Tuesday, the 17th.
Oh, great. Okay.
I know, I just in general, I on the planning board, and I know that, and we can ask for it, and I think we talked about it, but in instances where rather than taking the trees down completely, that we ask that they be cut at a certain height, 10, 15, 20 feet, so that the birds and the bees, if you will be able to still utilize them. They'll still have ability to grow and help out the local environment and keeping it natural as can be, but also understanding that you guys need sunlight to make your stuff work. So I know
Right.
that's one of them. We'd like to have pollinator blends planted. We'd like to see the use of, if you can, the use of tub grindings, if you're going to be taking down trees and grinding up the stumps and stuff on site, that we would often ask that be done. And or at least allow for it. It's a more natural product. You're not bringing in invasive species through hay bales. It's more resilient, and you can stockpile it should it get low or breached. You can always have an immediate fix to it. So, but we'll let you figure that out. And like I said, most of that stuff is usually hashed out in the planning board.
Great. Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. Unless you have anything else for us, I'll entertain a motion to continue the public hearing to May 23rd, 6 o'clock via Zoom.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Roll call vote. Charlie Sullivan,
Aye.
aye. Margaret French,
Aye.
Margaret French, aye. Keith Mello,
Aye.
Mello, aye. Kevin Damaris, aye. Motion passes unanimous. All right, Chris, I don't know if it'll be you or not, but we'll see somebody in a couple weeks.
Yep, probably me. So we'll see you in a couple weeks.
A bunch.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay. Next on our agenda, we have the minutes from the April 25th, 2022 meeting. Margaret is our new minutes clerk. Oh.
I'm
Margaret, did you
sorry, I
find
don't
it?
mean to be picky.
I
No, it's okay.
said, excuse me,
You do a great job,
Yeah.
Victoria.
Oh, thank you.
that with a giant smile on my face, Margaret, so. Have a motion on the minutes. If you haven't
make-
had an opportunity,
This Zoom's getting old. I'll make it.
no, it is
Yes, exactly, Keith. I'll second that motion.
supported to approve the minutes for 4/25/2022. There's no further discussion on the motion. Hearing none, a roll call votes. Charlie Sullivan,
Aye.
aye. Margaret French,
Aye.
aye. Keith Mello,
Aye.
Keith Mello, aye. Kevin Damaris, aye. Passes unanimously. Old business, number 7, update on gate at Porter Pasture. It has been installed. It was picked up and installed by the Highway Department, I believe, midpoint last week. So, as everybody remembers, we had been having some difficulties with people going down there, illegal dumping, and other, I don't want to say illicit activities, but activities that were suspect, if you will. And the selectmen asked that we put the gate up and make sure that it stays locked until such time that we can get people to be on staff to get down there and keep an eye on it. So we are looking to hire gatekeepers. We'll be successful in getting them. If not, and unfortunately, I think the gate will just have to remain locked during the day so that we can, and at least make sure it does at night too. So, all right,
Where is Porter
Does anybody-
Pasture?
Porter Pasture.
Empty.
Porter Pasture is if it's on Gramp Dean Road. So if you go up North Main Street, like you're going towards Berkeley, you go over the overpass at the old exit 10. You're going to take your first left before you get to PJ's Tire and the Restoration Massage. You're going to go down that road just after the park and ride about another 500 feet, maybe. On the right-hand side, you'll see a sign for it, Porter Pasture. It's a single-lane dirt track that gets you down to Sonnet Bay. And yeah, that's where it is. There's a cemetery there. It's a good blue crab tide during certain times of the year. The fishing's not half bad. It's only for a few weeks during the year, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
where it is, and there's beautiful sunsets there.
Yeah. I'll have to go
So
check it out.
Yeah, yeah. All right, anything else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Excellent. Motion's being supported to adjourn. No further discussion on the motion. Hearing none. Roll call vote. Charlie Sullivan.
Aye.
Aye. Margaret French.
Aye.
Margaret French. Aye. Keith Mello.
Aye.
Keith Mello. Aye. Kevin Damaris. Aye. Motion passes unanimous. All right, folks. Be safe. We'll see or hear from you. If you're available Thursday night. If not, we'll catch you at the next Zoom meeting.
Okay. What time do you
Margaret,
want to meet at Town Hall on Thursday?
So I get out at 4 o'clock. It only takes but 5 minutes to get there. So
Yep.
I think if we're there for 5 minutes at 4 o'clock, we can get over there too sweet.
Okay. Okay, I'll meet you at Town Hall around then.
Kevin, I'll be at the
Excellent.
site. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Margaret,
Yes.
minutes after the meeting?
Yeah.
Hello?
Kevin,
Hi.
you still there?
Oh, no, Kevin's gone.
Okay, have a good night, everyone.
I thought he asked me if I could stay. Didn't he ask that?
He did ask you that.
Okay, okay. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe.
I know.
not.
I was waiting there for a little while. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.